Hello and welcome back to Live in 30. I'm Laura Templeton with 30 Second Success, and this is episode 16 of Live in 30. Each week I come here to Facebook and share tips about networking and being really confident in connecting with your audience. So we're going to jump right in here, but before we do that, I just want to remind you, make sure that you're connecting with us on 30 Second Success. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Make sure that you're subscribing and that you're liking all of our sites and staying connected. Would love to hear from you with comments anytime or questions that you might have as well. So I am Laura Templeton, like I said, and I love helping people connect. And one of the things that really kind of struck me this week, and if you've read my blog, you know what this conversation is all about today. We're actually going to be talking about picking up the phone. Yes, the art of picking up the phone. A lot of people really have fear surrounding that, and I don't want you to struggle with it. You know, follow-up is so important to connecting with your audience and really making those connections that are going to really serve your business, help you grow, and to be confident. Hey, Jana, welcome aboard. I'm glad to see you here again this week. So nice to have you with me. But I just wanted to really touch base on the art of picking up the phone and talking to people. It's so important to know when the right time is. And you know what? A lot of people are fearful of picking up the phone and having a conversation, or you know what? We're also stinking busy. A lot of times it's just easier to shoot an email, shoot a text. You're sitting in the doctor's office, you're like texting or emailing, sitting, waiting for an appointment. It's easy to do. But what happens when you've sent several emails, several texts, and people aren't responding? What do? Do you give up? No, you don't give up. You call them, pick up the phone, and leave a voicemail. Now, somebody said to me recently, well, what if they're not someone who, what if they're not someone who likes to talk on the phone? It doesn't matter. You leaving a message, letting them know that you've been trying to reach them and that you would love to have a conversation and that you're going to call them again or follow up in a few days is a way to just kind of prompt them to call you back. Now, if you've ever been to one of my workshops, you know I have a special rule about how to leave a message, whether it's in your 30-second message or whether you're calling someone and leaving a message and asking them to call you back. So I'll get to that in a minute. So one of the things that I want to just touch on is how many messages do you send before you pick up the phone? Why not pick up the phone first? Why not make a phone call? When you've met someone at a networking event, call them the next day. If you get an answering machine, and chances are you might get an answering machine, leave a message. It's just saying, hey, it was really nice to meet you yesterday. I'm looking forward to connecting again soon. I'm going to send you my calendar so that maybe we can connect either for virtual coffee or in-person coffee, whichever you prefer. Make sure that you're using a calendar link. I use calendly.com. It's a great way to connect with people. Send them your calendar. They don't have to search for you. It's a great technology tool. You don't have to be emailing back and forth trying to set a time or calling each other trying to figure out a time that works. Calendly is wonderful. And I'll make sure that I put that in the notes after I'm done this call. So, hey, Nina, thank you so much for joining. It's so wonderful to have you on here with me. Please make sure if you have any questions as we're going through this, that you just pop them into the comment section and I'll try and answer them as we go along. So the next thing, just remember, how do you get past the fear of picking up the phone? If you know the 5-second rule from Mel Robbins, it's as simple as, you get a thought and before you can talk yourself out of it, pick up the phone and start dialing. Make that call. It's so important to just get beyond that fear because you know what? One of my rule is if you're making the call and other people are emailing and texting, guess what? You kind of like bump yourself up on the list of people that get their attention. So again, it's that making connection, getting people's attention, and really conveying that you're a confident person because you're willing to pick up the phone when other people aren't. we've reverted to texting so quickly these days, or sending emails, or, we call and instead of leaving a message, we hang up. Well, call and leave a message. And what do you do if somebody actually answers the phone, right? And you're prepared to leave a voicemail? That's happened, right? I don't know how many times I have gone to leave a voicemail and I realize, oh, they picked up the phone. What did I want to say? Well, know what you're going to say. Know what you're going to say ahead of time. Hey, it's Laura Templeton. We met the other day. I really enjoyed our conversation. I would love to meet with you in person and spend a little bit more time figuring out how we may be able to support one another in business. What do you have available on your schedule? Now, what if it's been a little while since you talked to the person? This just happened to me recently. I called someone right after I met her. She was going away, going on vacation. She was spending time with her family. I knew to call her back, in a week or two. I put it on my calendar, kept moving it on my calendar, and realized a whole month had gone by. So by the time I actually called her, it was, I was out of sight, out of mind, right? So I called her, and at first she was like really quiet, like, who is this? You're talking to me? And she said to me, you were literally talking to me as if I should know who you are, and I'm really sorry. Please refresh my memory. How do I know you? So, the fact that I was confident in talking to her as if she would remember who I was great. But don't be surprised if they don't remember who you are if you haven't called them. My biggest rule, and I tell people all the time, you need to follow up within 24 hours. 48 at the latest, but 24 hours. You want to remain top of mind. You want them to remember where they met you. You want them to go, oh yeah, you were the girl that, did XYZ. You want to be the person that they remember and that you're able to refresh their memory. So make sure that if you're not calling, they're not going to remember. So make sure that you're staying top of mind within that short period of time. But again, being prepared to talk to a person. So when I spoke to this woman and she didn't remember who I was, I reminded her, and we, then the conversation just moved on. Don't get all embarrassed. Just refresh their memory. Hey, we met at this event. You were going away on vacation. The last time we spoke, you had told me to give you a call back. I know it's been a few extra weeks past, when you were going. Hey, by the way, how was your vacation to Nashville? She was surprised that I remember she was going to Nashville. Well, I had taken notes, and that was part of the note that I put in my calendar to call her back, was to ask her about Nashville, ask her about her visit with her family, so that I had questions asked that was kind of, and that's a great way to break down those barriers, have them drop those walls that they've put up. So making those phone calls, and again, talking with people one-on-one, just like a one-on-one conversation, you start to build that credibility. You start to build that rapport with the people in your network, the people that you want to connect with, and your potential clients. So think about it in that respect. So having that conversation is so important. The other thing, that having a conversation with somebody really allows you the opportunity to ask really good questions. One of the things that I talk about all the time is asking really good questions. So for example, I recently had a great conversation with somebody I admire deeply, and I was looking for some advice about speaking. And I asked her, I messaged her, and I said, hey, can we have a quick phone call? She literally gave me 15 minutes on her calendar. And during our conversation, I was really intentional about, I made it sure that I thanked her for taking my call, and that if she wouldn't mind answering some of my questions, that would be helpful to me in building my business. And I was very intentional about my questions. But as the conversation went on, a couple of her answers really inspired me to ask a few more really key questions. And I walked away from that conversation. It was literally 20 to 25 minute conversation with, solid, really good responses that I could then run with and really will help elevate my business. So I was really grateful that, I was intentional about making that phone call, following up with her, connecting, and again, asking really great questions. You guys know I'm all about asking really great questions when you're having those one-on-one conversations, when you're networking and you're standing in a room full of people and you have some really great questions that just capture your audience's attention. But more importantly, when you're having a conversation on the phone, answer the questions and then think about ways, when those questions, when their answers elicit another question, say, hey, that's a really great point, and ask the next question. But make sure that you are listening to their answers and you are acknowledging those answers, because that's where that growth is going to happen. So conversations don't have to be long. They can be really quick. Know why you're calling. Make sure that you are thanking them for taking your call, and get to the point right away. You want to value their time. You want to express that you're valuing their time. Now, if the conversation continues and they're enjoying having a longer conversation and you are too, great. If you're just calling and you're going to say, look, I don't want to take up a whole lot of your time. In fact, I have another call in about 15 minutes. If you have time right now, great. We can have a conversation now. If not, let's schedule a time when we both have a little bit more flexibility in our schedule. So think about it in that respect. Being very respectful of other people's time is really key when having those conversations with the people that you are reaching out to. And again, confirm, hey, the minute somebody answers their phone, the best thing for you to do is say, hey, it's Laura Templeton, 30 Second Success. We met yesterday. Is this a good time for you to talk? And let them answer. So again, it's showing that respect. It's showing that interest in, you. First of all, you're reminding them of who you are. Second of all, you're showing that respect. And third, you are calling with confidence and you are starting to build that rapport. So don't be afraid to pick up the phone. It's very simple to have a conversation. Think about the people in the room and who you really want to connect with. And if you're not connecting, or if you need to practice, call a girlfriend. If you need to get one or two quick calls with a girlfriend out of the way. Say, hey, look, I'm practicing making phone calls today. Would you mind if I just practiced on you? And then call and practice, just practice having someone pick up the phone and either saying, yes, I have time, let's talk now, or no, this is a really busy time for me. Call me back on such and such a day at such and such a time. And do that. If calling people, just get in the practice of doing it. The more you do it, the easier it becomes, just like anything else. Practice really does make it easier to make it part of your day. So, making phone calls are very important to your business. 2 or 3 phone calls a day will help you to get in that practice and just make it part of how you connect with people. People like to connect all different ways. And, until you learn how someone likes to connect, it can't hurt to connect with them in multiple ways. So email, text, direct message through Facebook. I have some people that only connect with me through Facebook. I actually had somebody call me on the phone through Facebook the other day. Totally threw me off because the ringer was really weird. And I realized it was an incoming call through Facebook Messenger. And it was a phone call through Facebook Messenger. So different people like to connect in different ways. So don't be afraid to try different things. But remember that picking up the phone and that warmth in your voice is only going to convey more confidence. It's going to help build that rapport and build those relationships that you are looking for in your network. So I hope this was helpful to you. If you have any questions, Jana or Anita, I would really be happy to answer those for you. Make sure, again, that you're following on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. If you have questions for me, please post them on my 30 Second Success business page. Would love to be able to help you grow your network, build your confidence, and make better connections so your business will grow exponentially because of the effort that you're putting into it. So again, I'm Laura Templeton with 30 Second Success. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure that you check out our online courses at 30secondsuccess.com to help you find your auto client, create your 30-second message, and maximize your networking. So we'd love to answer any of your questions that you have on those. And I look forward to connecting with you again next week here on Live in 30. Next week, I'm actually going to be starting a series, just so you know, and it's all about really building that rapport and what power partners and how to make those power partners, how to develop those power partners that are strategic alliances to help you build your business. So next week, I'm going to start a series on that. I get a lot of questions about power partners and what it is and how to build it. So we're going to dive into that starting next week. So for the remainder of August, that's what we're going to be talking about. Power partners and how they can help you grow your business. So until then, have a wonderful day. And ladies, thank you so much for joining me here live on Live in 30 with 30 Second Success. I'm Laura Templeton, and I wish you much success.